Hello, everyone on the internet, and welcome back finally to Pathfinder War for the Crown Songbird Science Saboteur Session 38. Last we left our party of four. They took part in a harvest of the Stockies farms, uh, joined the citizens and the commoners in said harvest, taking their own time with it. And on the morning of the third day, when the harvest was all said and done, they were met with a tax collector coming to collect half of the goods, which roughly equaled half of whatever monies you had saved up for town improvements in game terms. Um, in roleplay terms, you tried to kind of fool him by giving him the prettiest looking bits of the harvest. He, however, saw through this and said, we have more space. Currently what you have, half of what you have now. Yeah, he saw through the ruse, said, no, my cart has more space, and you need to give more. And I think that's kind of where we left the party, trying to figure out their funds and the money situation. I think, I want to say you guys kind of took a huddle to figure out while he sat there waiting, and take it away.
Yeah, so I think in player terms, I think June and I tallied everything up correctly. I don't remember anything else outside of that. So yeah, I think Desmond will give him half his current money. I don't think this is a dodgeable game mechanic, so I don't want to dedicate too much time to it, personally.
Yeah, that's fine. I feel like we've pretty ritualistically spent the money that we've saved whenever we got some. So it's probably only the most recent uh, earnings that we would even have available um, to pass off for taxes. But that also feels so small. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's 7,000, which isn't. It's not nothing.
Well, yeah, for what we've spent, but we have, after spending a whole bunch, still we have 2,000 left from the crab estate. I don't know if we have any left from like the Okara barony.
Oh, I don't remember having any money left in the crab estate, but
Um,
uh,
First Okara Barony, I don't think he actually gave us money. He gave us like lumber to work.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, that went straight into the farm.
The
yeah.
crabs gave you 5,000. You spent 3,000 on the bridge.
Okay.
Um,
So 1,000
I
for the
guess
farm.
I just want to check. This is money that was solely meant for the
Yeah,
renovation of the town, right? Not
just the
our personal
improvement
funds.
stuff.
In actual game terms, he's asking for half of the money you have that would be going towards the town, which is any money that you've specifically given, have been given from NPCs or otherwise for town improvements. Roleplay
Okay.
wise, you can give any money you want, but for purposes
Um,
of game wise, he's asking for half of what you have been given specifically for town improvements.
I mean, that's probably like 7,000 between the different
hmm.
places.
Probably, and I guess by that standard, uh, there's not enough to pay what's owed because we've been spending it. If that's the expectation?
Probably a 3,000 cap that we would put on it. We can hand over 2,000 for sure. But if we were to go further, it would take extra.
Yeah, I think
Um,
our best bet is to hand over half of what we currently have and see if we can kind of be like, this is all we have, and kind of go from there.
oh, I think we still have 2,000 reserve, so we would need to come up with 1,000, right? Or the half, essentially the half amount, or is it 3,500?
Yeah, if we're getting tax to improve our town, then yes, that's how it's gonna money out.
Well, but we also did fund some of this ourselves with our own money, so it's not a full 7,000. It was probably about 6,000 so far.
I think it's 6,000. I do recall my previous character giving at least 1,000 for the town.
Yeah.
So I think it is 6,000. So in which case, each of us just need to pay like 250 gold just to cover the full expense. Then.
And I already, unfortunately, effectively tried to do the 2,000, so I think 3,000 is going to have to be.
Oh, but just to confirm, we do still have the 2,000 from the crabs, right? Or do we not have 2,000?
Yeah, we should still have the spare money.
I suppose who's not able to really contribute to the remaining 1,000, I can cover for you. Just in case.
I mean,
I
I don't
mean-
have that much money. I haven't really kept anything for myself.
I still have my starter money. Oh,
I have
Unfortunate-
upwards of 500,000 that I would be able to put in.
I can. I'll just say this. I'll just put 500 worth. If you want. I don't know if you guys will be able to split between
Okay.
500.
And then between Anastasia and Desmond, is there anything in your coffers, or
I
will
have
this-
108 gold.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
That's fine.
Tavene, you could probably just pay 50. I'll cover the. I'll just cover the remaining 750. I'll just ask for some material later on. But yeah, let's just get this covered.
No, we'll split it 50-50.
Okay. I don't want to drain all your funds.
Hey, you can get real far with 27 gold, I guess.
All right. Well, if that's what you want to do, then I'll contribute 500. We're up to 2,500, and you'll contribute the other 500.
There. 3,000 based on what we've earned so far for improvements.
Okay, so you're giving him 3,000 in-game terms. You're giving him 3,000 in the harvest. What's worth of the harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, so yeah, remove the 2,000 remaining from the crabs and any other money you've put into it yourselves. And once it's all loaded into his cart, he accepts it and hops back on. And orders his little guard retinue to turn around as they begin heading on their way.
That was brutal. See,
Yeah.
I would have saved some stuff if I knew we had to do something like that.
Yeah.
I guess it's a
Well.
good thing that the character hasn't had the chance to spend his money.
I guess so. But
Okay.
now we know. And now Desmond is thoroughly annoyed.
Or the time of reckoning has not come yet. Anyways, back to happier stuff, I suppose.
Is this something that has been in place for a really long time? Like
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
even prior
you would
prior to him being the Baron. Like,
um
prior to his ruling over the region. Did the region ruler before that do this, or is it just from him?
you've I think it would be a regular thing within this region. Your family definitely would have been taxed at some point. I think we agreed on. So you would have known about the taxes even at a young age. Have they gotten worse and more strict under Count Bartleby? Probably.
Okay.
But
So-
the taxes, I wouldn't call them new. They've been around within this county.
Okay, gotcha. But it would be reasonable for Anastasia to share that while taxation is a thing that's happened throughout her life, like she knows of, but the rate has increased since Bartleby took over.
Yeah, that's a fair call.
Okay. Yeah, and as they load up the final bit of the harvest, Anastasia will just kind of sigh and put her hands on her hips as the cart's going away, and just kind of fill the group in. Taxation it's common. I grew up with it. My family participated in paying the taxation, but the amount has definitely increased since Bartleby took over.
Well, that doesn't seem too surprising. Anastasia, has your family seen any return on the taxes that it's paying? Any form of protection, reconstruction, infrastructure improvements, anything?
God? Have we?
Well, here's the thing. Your family has had the privilege of living in Lothheater, which is where the Palace of Birdsong is and where Count Bartleby lives. So actually, yes, you would know the luxuries of Lothheater being turned into something of, the taxes being used in Lothheater. That is specifically Lothheater. You know that the money has been used for extra guard, for better, market, for the grand bank that they have. It's highly unlikely that any other place has received this money, mostly because they are overseen by other barons and estates. So you have the luxury of saying, yes, I have seen it done, but also because I quite literally live in the quote-unquote capital of the county.
Well, I think we can vouch for Stockies. Stockies has been left to rot. And if this exchange of taxes is yielding nothing but poverty, I think I know why the gods have put me here.
Well, I will say that Stockies hasn't had true leadership or help until you guys came along. So maybe now Stockies can have a foot to stand on because you guys are here.
That's well beyond what mere leadership can do. The funds of these people have been siphoned away. The Palace of Birdsong is a vampire upon this economy. That much is very clear. Jambus is another proof. The Gold Coast Canyon, more proof that everything outside of Low Theater is being neglected.
What's new? That's just how things function.
But it shouldn't be.
If you want to take on the hierarchy, you go right ahead.
I'm glad I could get your blessing. I have things to think about, but Brahm is right. That business is done. Let's get to more present issues.
Oh,
Did anyone have anything else to add to that?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty good. I'm ready to go on or go on.
No, I think Anastasia said her piece. I think taking taking Brahm's idea, if the night, like after all the harvest is done, after the taxes, if it traditionally should lead to like a celebration, I think Anastasia would try to spearhead the celebration, just to try to make it more lively, despite what just happened.
I mean, it to a lot of the commoners around, like they have kind of like died down because they just had half their stuff taken after 3 days of hard work. But I don't think it would be necessarily hard if you're trying to uplift them.
Yeah, I'll participate in that. That's worthy.
What do you do?
Oh, I don't know.
I suppose I'll ask is like usually during these harvests, there's usually a festival that carries along with it. We still have, we gave off half, but we still have half of it still. We could still celebrate with that.
I mean, you could certainly set up a little festival if your group so chooses.
Oh, no need to, no need to get hung up on the whole taxation thing. I'll spearhead it if need be. I may not be much of an entertainer, but better than nothing.
For me.
All right. Well, have at it, Brahm. I think with any excess, we can certainly throw a celebration for town unity.
Alright. What do we need to roll to get some merry stuff happening?
To create festivities.
I mean, you can just say that you do and end the, or spend the, next couple of hours, just getting people together and having a tiny little feast.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think that that would be the goal, kind of like a feast, a party. I think if there's like maybe like common games or events that people like to do, maybe set up some of those. Maybe set up things like yard games. I don't know, like horseshoes or something like that. Just something to get
Cornhole.
people's... Yeah, cornhole, exactly. Just set up activities for people to do, for people to socialize, talk, and drink. And I think with Brahm starting to facilitate it. I think Anastasia would jump in as well, so she would try to help organize games. Maybe if there's ale being given out, she would help distribute that. So she would join Brahm in the goal of trying to turn this kind of like sad-ish moment into something a little bit more lively and a little bit more fun.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that can definitely be done. You guys set up games, little drink tables. The mood is definitely lifted. You partake for however many hours, maybe 2-3 hours as this big festival goes on and it gets later in the day. But yeah, no rolls are needed. Successful and happy festival is done. People seem to be in better moods, for sure.
Awesome.
Don't we have a court case to adjudicate soon?
Yes, I believe the timeline was harvest and then new judging on the next day.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, most of the court is gonna be sloshed. It's gonna be great.
Well, they'll be speaking the truth.
Truth serum before the court hearing. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to do, so I will say that even for RP time, I don't really have anything to address.
I'm spending the half hour to get back to the estate. Or however long it takes to get there.
I
wanna
think it
sleep
was
in a
like
bed.
a 30-minute.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So if there's nothing else from anyone, we will return you all back to the estate. As
Sounds good.
the night rolls around.
Casting
But
Keep
you-
Watch does refresh me, but sometimes I just want to sleep in a bed. You know?
Put on. Let's see. Do I have nighttime
That-
music? I do.
That is perfectly reasonable.
Alright, you guys make it back to the estate for resty times. If there's anything you do to call it a night before you head to bed.
Oh
you
yeah,
do
for
so.
sure like a bath.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Undo
I think
my
Desmond
braid.
would read.
Yeah,
Desmond would read
I
his
think
book.
I think a good bath after harvesting would probably be much needed.
There's at least one bath in here.
There's definitely a bathroom.
There are two, A14 and 20.
Ladies first.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a few hours. A20. But otherwise, no, I'm pretty dead set on sleep.
Alright, so Tave's taking a bath and then hitting the beds. Desmond's reading his book. Brahms taking a bath as well and then hitting the bed. What about Anna?
Oh, I think Anna's just going to retire into her room for the evening and then take a fresh bath in the morning. These nights and these activities are long, and she knows how tiring it is, so she's just gonna go land face first on her bed and just instantly fall asleep.
Okay. All right. Well, night comes and goes.
Woo!
As morning comes, uh, Tavene, because I believe it was you last time, um, you notice that there is a as you kind of like walk through the rooms and head downstairs, you notice that there is a fog that seems to be just like at the end of its dissipation, uh, rolling through the house.
The
And
house.
yeah, as you make it as you make it downstairs, you notice the fog has fully dissipated and is gone.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna quickly and quietly. I mean, I can't do it silently, but just gonna throw this up.
Okay. Let's see here. As it as the fog dissipates, um, as you cast detect evil at the end of it, um, you do indeed feel the fading presence of something evil leaving the manor.
Great. Love that. Super cool.
I need daytime music while you decide what to do with that information.
I'm keeping it to myself.
Okay. Well, then I imagine you all wake up and can find yourselves back at the ground floor hall where your three mangy cat friends wait with breakfast, which again is like an assorted mush, various dried meats, and wine. Not the worst breakfast, but
Anastasia is easily an hour late, if not two, because she is. Now it's her turn to take a very long and relaxing bath.
Mhm.
We'll say the leader of them, Blunk, kind of looks at all of you, mid eating food, and says, "Yeah, so what's on the agenda for today?"
We have a court case to adjudicate.
Sounds boring.
Say, Blanc, um, what do you know of the history of stockies?
Hmm. Well, I know it's quite the shit town, which is why we decided to stay here instead of there. And I think it used to be nice, but then the old Baron left, and now you're here.
I see. So, what what happened? It seems that this town used to have full facilities and markets and farms before we came along. How did things get so bad?
Hmm. Previous Baron died. No new Baron came in to take place. No one to rule. Town lost its way. No money flowing into a town that no one wants to look after.
Well, I do understand that, but even a farmer who has no mayor to answer to would want to continue growing food to at least feed his family. It's just strange how everything just fell apart.
Well, the farmer grows his food, and the cobbler fixes shoes, and no one takes care of the streets and the general facilities. And soon the cobbler can't get resources, and neither can the farmer. It's a chain, a net, even.
I do understand that some of it can be attributed to infrastructural collapse. The bridge is a good example. That that the Gold Canyon Bridge is a lifeline to this town, and now it's being restored. But I don't know. It just seems strange to me. I'm trying to come to terms with our role in this town and what we can do for it. What I can do for it as the the main scion running around.
Seems we're doing just fine.
Yeah, well, that's entirely possible. Maybe I'm just overthinking things.
It's exactly what you're doing, husband. Don't overthink it. One step at a time.
Yeah. All right. Give me some of that dried meat. And then Brom, you and I were gonna either bathe really fast or I'm going to spray you down with my magic. So,
I don't mind taking a bath again, but I did so last night, bro.
oh, you took a shower after Tavenay took a shower or took a bath?
There are 2 facilities.
Oh wait, where's the second one?
It doesn't
Me
look like
too.
it's, but it's 14.
14.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no. Tina's in a bathroom.
Oh, that's a bath. Oh, it's a shower. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that's how we're playing it off. I guess during um during just general breakfast conversation, I'll sort of I'll like small talk about the weather, and specifically like, hey, did anyone else see that fog this morning? Just to gauge everyone else's understanding of the situation.
I think I'll resort to God saying whether or not I was up at that time, and then I'll RP as appropriate.
I think
I
my guy was up.
mean, how early do you wake up?
I think Desmond would typically be up by at least 7, possibly earlier.
I'm gonna roll a D100.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'll say you probably notice like fog, like at maybe the very end of it as kind of dissipated, like maybe outside your window, but you probably would have thought, yeah, weather.
Yeah, that's plausible. Um, I think I probably would have opened the window to let in some cool, fresh air, but I probably would have brushed away the mist. If I tried to use hydrokinesis on the fog, would I have noticed anything amiss?
A mist.
A mist? Pun now intended.
I mean, sure. Maybe. Does Desmond normally use hydrokinesis on what he thinks is just normal weather?
Yeah, if it obstructs his view of his yard.
Well, that's why I said you would notice it like dissipating. Like you would have woken up just as the fog would have, like you would have noticed it, but as it like went away.
Yeah, I think. Okay, I guess to be fair, Desmond would spam hydrokinesis on like everyday objects if he thinks like things are a little off or they're not exactly how they should be. Like if
Okay,
there's
you wouldn't
condensation on
think
the
it's off.
inside.
It's just fog. You've been in this area and have seen fog before.
Okay. And the fog retreats normally when I try to like clear my view.
Yes.
Okay. Then I probably wouldn't have noticed anything. Yeah, there was a thick fog this morning outside my window, but seemed fresh as any other fog.
Mhm.
Did something strike you odd about it?
No, just talking about the weather.
That's that's fair. Um, Anastasia, I've been meaning to ask, uh, what are the requirements for a family to be living in Le Theater? What benefits must you offer for that count to accept you into his domain?
God? Do I know
Mm-hmm.
that? Or do I not because my family was already established?
Um, you probably maybe like a mix. Like most of the families there are already established, but no, I think it would be like you might have seen people move into the town, but you'd probably know that, most people who live there have probably lived there for a while and have already been like established in the town.
So the people that I've seen move in, it's just very few and far between. And it's not a sense of like no one's allowed to move in. It would probably be more of a sense of like there's no property because once you're here, you're going to stay.
Um, Give me knowledge local.
Oh, sure. 14.
I mean, that's still middle of the road.
That's true.
Um, um, you would know that, yeah, it's definitely a, like, okay, I think the best way I can say it is you don't think it to be a pay the count to live here. Most people have already been established in Lothheater. You've definitely seen maybe a family or two move in, whether those family or two have already been, made of money or not, but it's not just the rich who live in Lothheater. They're very much just regular everyday families who live there. So you don't think it's you don't think anyone today would be a pay the count to live here. It's just that Lothheater happens to be the biggest of the towns where the money is.
Oh, okay. Um, well, my family has been established in the town for quite some time, and although a few families have moved in that I'm aware of, I don't think there's any prerequisites in order to live in the town. It is one of the biggest cities in the area, and I I guess my neighborhood is just full of old people who've always been there. So I really can't vouch for too many people moving into the area.
I see. Well, all right. I'm going to shower really quickly, and then I suppose we can set out for the trial.
If no one has anything else they'd like to do, that can easily be done, and you can head back into town to begin the next little trial. I believe this is your third. Maybe. Yes, I
Is it?
believe so.
I think it's our second because we only did the half orc case.
No, you did the
No.
poacher and the
Yeah.
donkey.
Yep, we did too.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah, the first
you
guy I just said he ventured onto it, and there's no like distinct boundary, so it doesn't make sense to
Mhm.
punish him. Um,
Right.
just wanted for the record before the trial actually hits. Morpheus is in, I think I'll say perception mode, so I'll have a +8 on perception for today.
okay. As you head into town at the appropriate time, you find yourself to the bar slash sheriff's office, where Sheriff Honora has set up the judging station. She gives you a very simple rundown. Local drunk and troublemaker, Lucinia Mag, has been causing problems for years. This is what she looks like. Most recently, she decided to start a brawl in here. Surprised me with a punch and ran off with 22 silver and a bottle of whiskey worth 20 gold. I tracked her down. I found her drunk in a farmer's barn the next morning. And now you get to decide what to do with her.
Uh-huh.
And just like the previous cases, Lucinia is like sat, quote unquote, like, or not quote unquote, actually manacled in a chair in front of the little, judge's bench behind the bar.
I see.
Seems open and shut, but we'll learn all the facts and render verdict only afterwards. All right, ladies and gentlemen, shall we get started?
A bunch of the civilians, commoners in the room, like bang their cups and shout yes as they all
Alright.
take their seats to watch what's about to happen.
All right, good. Sheriff Honora, could you please give an account as our first witness to the events leading to Lucinia's arrest? Any details left out of the report?
None from me, but other than a known history. Arrested Lucinia here a few times. Most of the results ended with a banishment from the town, but she always winds her way back up here, and Honora gives her kind of like the stink eye.
I see. All right. Um, Lucinia. Uh, Sheriff, you can take a seat. Lucinia, please give us your side of the story, motive, opportunity, time, place, anything you can think of.
She proceeds to not, and instead, for simplicity's sakes, just insults you.
Oh, all
Probably
right.
with like man, your parents must be real ashamed that you came out looking like such a loser.
All right. Well, we'll do things this way, because it doesn't seem like this is a productive use of anyone's time, does it? Would you agree with that, Lucinia?
I agree that you're likely a loser.
All right. So this is where we're going to start. Your current sentence is death by hanging. How does that feel to you?
You see, there is a bit of shock in her eyes, and as you say that, Honora kind of like immediately stands up, kind of like makes her way to your side and says, "If you are serious about something of this nature, while the locals have been sick of her, at least take her hand. I don't know if you'll find much favor if you really go through with it hanging."
I appreciate the advice, but let me do my work here. Have a little faith.
Honora sits back down and
All right. So, Lucinia, the way this trial is going to go is instead of assuming innocence, because it doesn't seem like you're pleading innocent, we will work our way backwards. You give me reasons to not hang you, and maybe we will reduce the severity of the punishment. Does that sound reasonable?
she while shocked a little bit, also has the current look on her face as if she is making a conscious decision to now ignore you.
Okay. We will allow the town to help your case. You have thieved from this tavern, seems many times. Townspeople, how many times has Lucinia stolen liquor from this establishment? Numbers.
You get like a cacophony of, a few people talking about it, like she has a history of some petty theft, whether it's from the bar itself or from others. Uh, she is famous in the town, is what you gather.
Oh,
It is also very obvious that you have also shocked the people in the stands with the talk of a hanging.
yeah, that's fair. Um, Now, can anyone tell me when these petty thefts began? Lucinia here is clearly not the oldest one in the room. There's going to be some of you. I'm looking at you, and perhaps you. Tell me what you knew of Lucinia before things devolved this way. And while Desmond is saying this, he's keeping an eye on Lucinia because she's, in his eyes, clearly too stupid to save herself.
Give me a diplomacy.
Certainly. Oh, that's a low roll.
You get the information that this has been, even from, the older people, this has been a thing since she was a child. She's been run out of town twice in the last 10 years, but both times she came back after a few months. She's, this has been a long history of minor crimes, which does, after learning all this, you do get some of the older people in the crowd saying, like, just put her in the pillory. Humiliation will be fine. You don't have to kill her.
That's a fine sentiment. How many times has she been put in the pillory? How many times has she spent a night in the jail?
Honora actually pipes up and says, mostly during the old cases with Lucinia here. Keep her in the cell for a day, and then we banish her. For, as the townsfolk have said, a few months before she comes back.
And you said you've banished Lucinia at least twice.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's clear that since childhood, this word has not meant anything to Lucinia. And definitionally, she's been trespassing ever since she was a child. Is this incorrect information? Anyone?
It is not. You want to be more serious about a punishment, you can take her hand for theft. Like the townsfolk said, there is the pillory. Always try banishment again. You can also see about setting her to some public service. I would, again, personally advise against the first hanging this town has likely seen ever.
I will
Considering we don't have one.
I will take that into consideration. And Lucinia, feel free to pipe in at any time. Or you can stay silent. But it's up to you.
She seems to have no interest.
Does anyone know what Lucinia's childhood was like? Where were her parents?
I'll count that into your diplomacy. No one really knows or remembers. Just knows that Lucinia's had this history ever since she was a kid. Brahm,
Husband, if I may.
I was just gonna say Brahm and Tavene, if you have anything to say while this has been going on.
Does anyone know if Lucinia has ever had a job. How does she make a living?
Desmond points at Tavenate. That's a good question. Thoughts? Anyone?
You get like looks from everyone like she's not on my farm, she's not on mine.
Desmond will turn to Sheriff Honora. The times that Lucinia has stopped by this tavern, banishment or not, has she ever paid for a drink?
Well, she has definitely found her way to pay for a drink here or there, and Honora will like reach behind the counter and pull out a long receipt, like a long tab, and said, "Well, she didn't pay for this, this, this." It's a lot of drinks that she hasn't paid for, but there are like a rare one or two that have been like crossed off that she has been noted and jotted down that Lucinia paid for.
All right.
Right.
So we know that there's money coming from somewhere.
Barely.
Yes. But it shows that there is money somewhere. We're digging a little bit. It's fairly pertinent to the trial now. What direction does Lucinia typically come into town? Does anyone know?
No one has an answer for that.
Lucinia? There anyone that you stay with, even temporarily?
Lucinia, dear, we're not going to hang you. Desmond is a little gung-ho about his justice. I don't really appreciate it. If you could help us with giving a few answers, it would move things along and probably make things better for you.
She kind of just has her arms crossed and like says, "I don't have anything to say to you all. Just banish me and get it over with already."
Oh.
I'll speak up. Yeah, maybe we should just banish her after we cut off that end of hers, as the townsfolk have been suggesting. Then we'll just cut off her hand again if she does another crime, essentially.
Also,
Then we'll start with
Honora
her feet.
suggested the dismemberment. The townsfolk have said the pillory.
If we are to take away functionality of a hand, I'd rather it be within, say, a cage of some sort. Disable it. No need to remove it entirely.
All right.
Alright,
Well, that's
I'll
sentiment.
ask the crowd. Have any of you been mugged before by her?
You do get a few people that say yes. The It's also pretty easy to understand that the general consensus of the crowd is that they just want her like gone, humiliated, or blah blah blah. They don't seem to be really vying for like the way you guys have been. Yeah, two of you have been gung ho about physically disabling her. The people in the crowd of this seem to be not really for it. Just kind of want her gone.
As Sheriff Honora, are there any services that we can use to deport her to a different land?
You could certainly try, but I'm sure she'll find her way back. She always does.
Does anyone in the crowd doubt this?
doubt that she'll come back.
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
really know. Everyone kind of said no. I mean, kind of like no. We get she'll come back. Just a little humiliation will be fine, satisfying for us. Even if she comes back, at least she'll have that stain on her head.
Out of game. Is there a indentured servant system?
Yes, there are indentured servants in this universe. My other character in Pathfinder came from Casimir to the south, where there is still a lot of slavery.
There's definitely
Oh,
slavery, and
Okay.
Honora did say, you could hire someone to watch her and like throw her on a farm or something.
Oh no, I was just wondering if there were such thing as slave traders. Or two
Yes.
slave trader.
Yeah, so the answer is yes.
She'll stay alive. She'll be forever shamed, and she'll be out of her hair.
All right. Well,
Out of game.
out of game. What is Brahm saying in game?
I suppose he'll ask Cheryl and Nora. It's like, well, listening to Lady Tavernet and listening to the crowd, they want her to be shamed, not harmed. How about we send her? How about we send her into slavery? I think that'll be a permanent mark of shame, and she'll be far away from this land.
No, we're not
Yeah.
selling her to slavery.
Nora definitely pipes up and says, "We're not slave traders. If you want to bring slavery to our town."
Oh, I'm not bringing slavery to this town. I'm trying to move her out of this town, since it seems that pillory exile is only a temporary measure. She'll mug someone, she'll hurt someone, and I don't think the citizens need to be under that constant worry.
All right. Let's look at it this way. The town is waiting for ultimately me as a scion to pass judgment, but the town seems to wish to coddle her. You want to embarrass her. Something more akin to spanking a small child for taking your juice.
Before you can continue, Honora does pipe up and says, "Listen, I mean no disrespect, but the four of you make the decision, not just you." It's what happened in the other two, it's what will happen here.
Sure. Then this is a debate to be settled between the four of us. We've started off and made no progress as to where we should go. Because as of now, the three of us that have spoken have proposed 3 different punishments.
I even have a new proposal.
What is your proposal?
I think the pillory is fair in response for the theft and assault itself. I also think after the pillory has had its time, perhaps Lucinia here can have supervised and paid public works.
Supervised, unpaid
And
public works.
paid.
And paid public works.
If she's going to put in the work, she'll be able to afford what she so seems to need to steal. Perhaps that can set up a system itself where she'll be able to fund herself in the future. And I'll not that she's looking at me, I know she's looking away, but I'll like stare daggers into her. She
That-
might even build rapport within the town if she does well enough.
That's optimistic.
Well, of course it is. The banishment is always there.
Well, all right. Let's work our way backwards from the different punishments. I proposed hanging because it seems common sense that if someone does not want to die, they would give me a reason to not hang them.
There are a lot of insolent people in the world.
Yes.
Would the same
But-
be said if said person would want to improve their situation? Let's just say that we decide to give them the pillory, then decide to give them work with pay. Would they actually feel like they need to change for the better, or would they just treat it as if it's just a slap on the wrist?
Right. Does this girl know what it means to work? And is there anyone in town willing to hire Lucinia? Speak up, townspeople. Anyone willing to hire her?
You get, like the townsfolk murmur and mumble to each other, and the most you get is officially hire. No, but if you want to throw her on our farm as like community service, we'll watch her.
You'll watch her. But you will not give your money to her.
Not currently.
All right.
So what
In the
they're
first
saying
place-
is there's a chance.
Well, in the first place, this town isn't exactly able to pay most of everyone. We're slowly rebuilding the town. You think seniors should have the special treatment of being one of the only few that can actually get paid?
Well, it would be low, much like anyone else here. I don't think she should get special treatment, which is where the supervision comes in.
All right. And this is exploring your path of execution, Tavane. This isn't meant to be sarcastic, so please, I am discussing this in good faith. I want to see where your line of justice goes. Is that fair?
Sure.
So let's say Lucinia goes to the pillory, goes to the farm. What should happen to her should she break that contract?
Well, I understand you wish to have a permanent solution to this problem, but it takes a lot to build up a person. And I do think if she's not receptive, banishment is entirely acceptable. And perhaps, with the Gold Coast Canyon Bridge intact and the basic infrastructures of Stockies working as they will soon, all of the additional, perhaps not tourism, but markets could also provide for additional watch to keep her banishment. I don't think this is a strictly permanent punishment, of course. But there could
Alright.
be some development as well as payback that she needs to provide to the town itself.
So, I'm going to reiterate your initial punishment with the assumption that she does break the contract. Then we'll explore the option where she does not break the contract. So let's be thorough here. You are saying that for the price of being humiliated on a pillory, brought to a farm, and then running back to the tavern, Lucinia can help herself to a 20 gold whiskey bottle. That is
It'll
what
take
your punishment equals.
it'll take a lot more than that.
So, like, a week on the pillory?
Perhaps a combination of the pillory and the public works. Not all of it has to be paid, but if she can be shown that honest work can pay.
Okay. So far, I do hope that some form of reform can happen.
I want to ask Sheriff Honora something. Idea of community work. Has that been presented to Lucinia before?
If you go through with it, this would be our first time. Mostly the townsfolk vie for banishment.
Alright. Townsfolk, be honest with us for... Do you just want to embarrass her and let her go? You know banishment does nothing. We'll continue our discussion here, but we need to know where you stand.
There does seem to be like a the people in the crowd aren't necessarily all in one thing. Like the general crowd, you know, a bit more quiet now, like, and maybe a little more whispering. Like there was definitely a toll taken on the crowd. You can tell by the "let's hang her" followed by "let's throw her into slavery."
Yes, and that's all they heard, because they didn't follow up with the let's work our way backwards from there and find reasons to not hang her. No one in the room followed that. So I
Okay,
need to
but
know
we
where they
still
fit.
we still started there, which is an extreme. Even if you understandably believe it to be pulled back anyway, we still started there.
Yes. I'm looking for an improvement.
The
I will
general
not coddle
consensus,
a child that actively sabotages our town.
So you're going to kill a child.
the general consensus of the crowd is a three-way on the banishment, throw her in the pillory, or send her to public service.
Okay.
How
I
old
like a
is she?
supervised.
She's very much like in her 40s.
Okay.
She's been doing this for decades.
Yeah. So, the 1/3 of you that favors banishment is ultimately saying just let her go.
Yeah, there's definitely a split in the room of some people saying just banish her, and then another split of, throw her in the pillories, and then another split of, send her to one of the more rougher farms and throw her into service.
We just built those farms.
Yeah, it'll be supervised. She won't be able to get away with anything.
You don't think so? You don't think someone who has already hurt people, has already been drunk in public, punched the enforcement, stolen from people, you don't think they'll actually just work an honest day's work and not steal from the farm after having half our goods stolen already?
No, I think it'll be rough for a little while.
Okay.
But I do think that it's possible. Entirely possible. Given a reinforcement.
Enforcement of what? You don't have strong guard.
However it needs to be.
Positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement. There are only two. And it does not seem that negative reinforcement is a technique you wish to employ. Nor is it a technique that the town wishes to employ.
Well, if the town doesn't have or want the resources for public works, then I agree with the town. Pillory and banishment. Once Stockies is on its feet more, perhaps there can be some who are better equipped and better funded to do some kind of supervised works like this, should this happen in the future, which it likely will.
Desmond wants to see if Lucinia answers Anastasia.
Yeah, Anna, you kind of just get a shrug from her and like a simple, this is where the alcohol is.
Anastasia will give kind of a nod. Like, I see. So, you haven't had anything in God, what's the name of the city I'm from?
Low theater.
Low Theater. So you haven't had any alcohol from Low Theater, have you?
Yeah, she kind of just hits you with another shrug, like you definitely get the immediate smell of, this woman's an alcoholic. She's probably had a lot of drinks in her time.
But does her shrug tell me yes or no?
Give me a sense motive on the shrug.
Okay.
Give me a shrug motive.
Let's see, shrug motive. I got an okay shrug motive. That's an okay shrug motive. Oh wait, I get to roll 2 and take the higher. Double shrug motive. 26. That's a good shrug motive.
26. I'm going to say that's a great roll. I'm going to say the shrug leads more in the way of yes, but it is also the case of, like, she's very clearly an alcoholic. Whether she remembers she had drinks from Low Theater or not, you don't know, but you get the feeling that, it might be yes, it's probably yes. She's likely had a lot of alcohol in her life.
But there's a chance she doesn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Anastasia is as they're like debating what to do with her. Anastasia is going to go into excruciating detail about how good the alcohol is where she's from and tell her if they banish you, go there instead. The alcohol is so much better.
Her eyes definitely, perk up at the thought of better alcohol.
Can I roll a diplomacy check to see if I can convince her that if we banish her, she goes there instead?
Sure.
Cool. 32!
Yeah, I mean, she definitely perks up. She definitely seems interested. And, yeah, sure. Banish me then.
Does it seem like I've convinced her to relocate? Or
There's definitely an air of, yeah, okay, better drinks.
awesome, cool. I will stand up, I will go to the group and say, I think I've convinced her that if we banish her, she'll go to another town.
Eye is going to perk is like, oh.
Which town?
Lathander.
I'm just going to think about it, and then he'll just have a small smirk. I'm like, no, Anastasia, I'll let you spearhead.
Alright. This is funny. This is a little cathartic. And just this once, I'm going to back you on this.
Wonderful. If I have all three of your support, I will make the announcement. And since I should probably return home to check on my sister, I will escort her out of town.
This seems to be a very turnkey solution.
You have my blessing.
That's one.
I'll tag along to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
I will ride with you as well, and you have my blessing as well.
And Brahm, I assume I have yours.
Yeah, you have my blessing.
Wonderful. I will go up to the little stand or whatever that we have and say,
It's straight up just the bar. You guys are behind the bar of the pub.
cool, awesome. I will raise my voice and say, we have come to a conclusion. She will be banished. And she will leave in the next hour or so. For now, she shall wait in the... what's it called? What's the punishment thing called? She will wait in the pillory for the escorts to return, and she will be escorted out of town by us because we feel it is fit that we do so as the leaders of your town. Do you agree?
You kind of get a quiet agreement from everyone.
I think they're just tired of dealing with her.
That's fair. That being said, let's put her up and we'll go pack.
Okay. As you guys finish this, the townsfolk begin to, pile out of the tavern, and Honora gets up and grabs her ring of keys to go unlock her and begin moving her to the pillory.
Okay. Desmond, how tall are you?
Oh, good question.
Oh wait, I did not mean to pull that.
She's fucking dead.
Just the execution as soon as she walks out
I
the
meant-
door.
Yep.
Good
I
God.
meant-
Rom's waiting behind the door outside. He left with the crowd and has just been Tom and Jerrying the battle axe.
Yeah, correct. Okay, continue.
I'm 6'1".
Okay. That gives me 2 inches your superior. As we're walking out, yeah, as we're walking out, we're kind of on the side of the crowd, not really in the middle of the crowd. I, like, pretty hard, like, I smack the back of your head, and I get in close and I whisper, Jesus, I didn't see how evil you were before, but the magic isn't wrong, God.
It seems everyone, including the lawful good in this town, stops at the first sentence. If my first sentence deems what my alignment is in this world, then I guess that's how it is. If she had just cooperated, we probably would have ended up at banishment anyway.
And that still would have been better than death.
Exactly. Precisely. We'll never know. Because Anastasia outdid both of us.
I'll walk away from the conversation.
Okay. Anna, are you walking back to the estate to get your equipment with Brahm to begin the headings towards Lotheater?
Yes, and I believe everybody's coming with us. I believe we're all going as a group, along with Lucina. So, yeah, I will start on my way back, and as Brahm and I are walking, I will just kind of laugh and say, "I really can't believe that worked."
I say to Anastasia, our idea is really, really good considering what will happen.
Yeah, I figured one of a few things actually will happen. One, she'll either get away with stealing a lot of alcohol, which will come right out from under Bartleby's clutches of everything that he just took. She will get arrested, and then they have to deal with her. Or she'll actually find work, because someone of her magnitude can sometimes pull really strange positions in a big town. Could be for the good, could be for the bad, depending on how you look at it, but the likeliness of us running into her are probably if we ever get thrown in jail too.
Two things. One, let's hope that won't ever happen. And two, we'll just wait and see.
Agreed. And as long as we can keep her excited about the alcohol during the travels, I don't think she'll have any reason to go back. In fact, I may be so inclined to, when we get there, take her to a tavern, give her a gold to spend, and just let her get completely sloshed so she becomes 100% addicted to the alcohol there instead of the alcohol here.
Yep, and just want to make sure we're all on the same page. He isn't a citizen of Aki's at this point.
That I'm honestly not too sure about, but travelers can travel, visitors can visit.
Yeah, it's fine if she's a traveler, but I don't want Bartleby to be coming to us saying that one of our citizens have caused an issue.
She's been banished twice.
He has probably lost our citizenship.
Yes, she's not a citizen. She's 40 years old and she's been doing this forever. She's not a citizen.
Okay, just want to cover our tracks.
Upon our return, we should probably make sure if there is a citizen list that she is stricken from it. So that is a good point. We'll address that upon our return after she is completely blacked out for at least a day.
Right.
Yes.
Let me get my battle axe.
Finally start to get our vineyards up. Let's make sure to label it something else other than Stockies. Because if we give her a reason to come back here, and we do have a vineyard, she might.
We might consider renaming the vineyard after the woman who enjoys wine so much. Be a tribute to her. She's the reason why the vineyard would be back up and running. And if Lucina hears anything about it, she may venture into her territory instead of ours, seeking the alcohol.
As I say, one step at a time. That's way too out there for us to worry about.
Agreed.
Hopefully she doesn't head in that direction. If she does, there's a chance that she'll wander into the Void Woods, which could be trouble.
Again, don't worry about it. Let's just focus on what's ahead of us.
Okay. You guys are able to make back to the Bettany estate to gather your gear, gather your horses. You are able to set yourselves off and back into town, where Honora will join you and meet you, unlatching Lucinia from the pillories and handing her over to you, essentially. Are all of you making the trek to Low Theater, or is it just Brahm and Anna?
Yeah, I'm coming too.
I might as well.
Before we leave, it's roughly a full like 24-hour journey to get there, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what we decided? Okay. I want to ask our wonderful housekeepers for 2 bottles of wine.
Okay,
before we
that
leave the
can
house.
be handed, yes.
Awesome. Because I fully intend on keeping her with us the whole day of travel, and I think by making sure that she's drinking/drunk every night and she knows that we have alcohol on us, she will be more inclined to stay with us during the travel than wandering off.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you are able to gather your wine, and can set off towards Low Theater. As you leave Stockies and set off into the wilderness, you will have to get at least one rest in the wilderness at night before you can make it the rest of the way. But before we change maps to a wilderness map, we're going to call our session there and see what happens as the party transports one Lucinia Mag to Low Theater in session 39.
All right.
This has been a doozy.
This is an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, I'd imagine that this is the first time we've actually seen the alignments come up against each other.
This one has been an interesting doozy of a session. I know I have my own outro, but it's been a while. Kenzie, do you want to say the thing?
Sure. Great game as always, Pi. That was a lot of fun. It's good to
Like
be.
the guild outro.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, wasn't
There's
hitting my
not.
talk button in Discord. Oh goodness, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, great game as always, Pi. Really fun to be back playing in the War for the Crown. But for now, everybody say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye.
Goodbye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube. Happy dungeon delving, everyone, and Pi.
And as always, good pie and stay sweet, everyone.